The saying, "How you do anything is how you do everything," captures the essence of Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes excellence. Contrary to the common belief that life is filled with sudden epiphanies or bursts of creativity and genius, the reality is more gradual. Achievements and understanding develop slowly over time. Importantly, the greatest challenge we confront is not an external foe or another country. Instead, it's our own ego, the internal, often misleading sense of self-importance and pride that can hinder our progress and understanding. Stoicism is an old theory that focuses on ethics, reason, and self-control. It gives us a new way to think about the idea of greatness. This way of thinking says that real greatness doesn't come from quick insight or genius. Instead, it is a slow process, a path that happens as a result of choosing and acting in the same way every day. A famous Stoic philosopher named Seneca said, "It is not because things are hard that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are hard." How ego gets in the way of excellence. One of the most important ideas in Stoicism is that our own ego is often the thing that stops us from being great. The ego can make it hard to see clearly, learn new things, and get out of a state of comfort, all of which are bad for personal growth. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor of Rome, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote shows how ego can keep us from seeing what excellence is really all about. Making excellence a daily habit. To be excellent, the Stoic way starts with daily exercise and being aware of the present moment. It's about always making the right choice, even when it seems like a small thing. Epictetus, another important Stoic thinker, said, "Progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself every day." This way of thinking stresses that excellence is not a place to be reached or a single moment of victory, but a continuous process of self-improvement and character development. Examples of great Stoics in the past. People in history who lived by Stoic ideas show how this theory can be used in real life. Take Cato the Younger as an example. He was known for always standing by the goals of the Roman Republic. He always put honesty and ethics ahead of personal gain or ease, which shows that he lived by Stoic ideals. Similarly, George Washington, who was affected by Stoic ideas, was dedicated to self-discipline and service. He led with humility and strength as the United States was being formed. Getting past your ego, the way to real greatness. To really live by Stoic principles, one has to face and get rid of their ego. To do this, you need to become more self-aware, be more humble, and stay open to learning and growing. The best payback, as Aurelius said, is to be unlike the person who did the wrong. This mindset helps us rise above small, ego-driven actions and concentrate on building our character and virtues. Why Stoic ideas are appealing to everyone. Philosophy called Stoicism has roots in old Greece and Rome, but its lessons still have a big effect on people today. In a wide range of settings, from military training to business boardrooms, its concepts of resilience, self-control, and logic are applicable. Epictetus reportedly said, "What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it." This sums up the Stoic view that we should focus on how we react to outside events, rather than the events themselves. Stoicism in leading the military. Stoic thought can teach us a lot about how to be leaders and keep our minds tough when we are training for the military. James Stockdale, an American vice admiral and pilot in the Vietnam War, said that his understanding of Stoicism helped him stay alive while he was a prisoner of war. He believed what Epictetus said, which is that a person's inner freedom can't be taken away, even if they are physically locked up. A mindset like this is very important for military training, where mental toughness and resilience are just as important as physical power. Stoicism in sports and working as a team. In the same way, Stoicism helps people in professional sports deal with stress, failures, and working together as a team. The New England Patriots, led by coach Bill Belichick, who is famous for saying, "Do your job," uses a Stoic method to keep everyone on the team focused on their own jobs and duties. Marcus Aurelius said, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice." This is similar to the Stoic focus on duty and control over one's actions. Stoicism in business and starting your own business. Stoicism can help you make decisions and understand other people's feelings in the business world. Entrepreneurs like Tim Ferriss and Ryan Holiday say that the Stoic way of life can help them deal with the uncertainty of business. They stress the Stoic practice of figuring out what we can control and what we can't. This is a very important skill for business people because things are always changing. The Stoics of today, taking part in the world. The people who were Stoic thinkers were involved in their communities. They were leaders, fighters, and politicians. These words are now translated into a call to take action in the world. Stoicism urges people to act in a careful, reasonable way, whether they are dealing with climate change, social unfairness, or new technologies. He said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." How the Los Angeles Rams have changed so dramatically. The Los Angeles Rams' trip from a poor season to winning the Super Bowl is a powerful example of how Stoic ideas can be put into practice. The Stoic philosophy of flexibility in the face of hardship, clarity of thought, and resilience served as the foundation for this change. Panic Rules by Les Snead and Stoic Thought. The panic rules put in place by General Manager Les Snead were a key part of this recovery. The main ideas of Stoicism are reflected in these clear and straightforward rules for how to act in tough situations. Stoics say that it's important to keep your mind clear and logical during trials. Snead's panic rules helped the team figure out how to deal with their problems. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in our imagination than in reality." By setting clear rules, the Rams were able to focus on what they could control and avoid worrying and guessing about things they didn't know. The role of Stoicism in teamwork and leadership. Stoic ideas can be used in a team setting, as the Rams have shown, which emphasizes the importance of everyone's focus and resilience. Marcus Aurelius said, "What is good for the hive is good for the bee," which reflects the Stoic philosophy that everyone should work together to achieve a shared goal. Everyone on the team knew what their job was and how important it was to do it carefully and thoroughly for the team's benefit. The importance of mental strength in sports success. The Rams situation shows how important mental toughness is in sports. Stoics say that you should face problems with courage and inner strength. The Rams showed that they were determined to get past their problems. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, Epictetus said, and their journey showed this to be true. They demonstrated that mental resilience and flexibility are just as important as physical skill in achieving success. Lessons from the Rams that can be used in more situations. The Rams story is an example for people in many fields, not just sports. Through clear principles, a focused approach and resilience, any team can get through tough times and become great, whether they are in sports, business, or another field. With the Stoic view that problems are chances to learn and grow, this makes sense. Stoicism and the idea of getting past problems. Stoic thought is based on a strong idea. Problems are not just problems, they are chances for growth and greatness. In his book, The Obstacle is the Way, Ryan Holiday writes beautifully about this idea that comes from the lessons of old Stoics, such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. One of the most famous quotes from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Examples of Stoic resilience in the past. This Stoic concept has been shown to be true throughout history. As an example, Admiral James Stockdale was a prisoner of war for 7.5 years during the Vietnam War. He got through it by following Epictetus's advice, especially the idea that people should focus on staying strong and getting better in the areas they can control. Stoics believe that behind every problem there is the seed of a benefit equal to or greater to it. Stockdale's experience backs this up. Stoic philosophy is used in modern times. This Stoic way of dealing with problems can be used in many areas of modern life, from personal growth to work goals. For example, in the world of business, problems are often seen as opportunities to come up with new ideas. This way of thinking has been shown by successful business people like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, who turned failures into key moments of growth and innovation. "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body," said Seneca. In order to grow as a person, the obstacle is the way. When it comes to personal growth, the Stoic way of dealing with problems gives people the courage to see problems as chances to grow as people and get better. Adopting the mindset that the obstacle is the way can change how one approaches life's challenges, whether they involve a personal loss, a professional setback, or a health problem. Getting wisdom from suffering and using problems to your benefit are the ideas behind it. Sports and the mindset of a Stoic. Stoic ideas can also be used in a lot of different ways in the world of sports. Athletes frequently have to overcome mental and physical obstacles, and the best athletes are those who use these difficulties to improve their ability and resilience. Focusing on what they can control, their training, their mindset, and how they deal with setbacks, teaches players the Stoic way of thinking. They learn to see problems as necessary steps on their way to success. What Stoic discipline is all about. For Stoics who want to be the best, discipline is not just a trait, it's a way of life. It's a promise to keep getting better, which is in line with the Stoic idea that you can gain virtue and wisdom through constant work and persistence. According to Epictetus, no great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. How progress is made in steps. Stoic philosophy stresses that growth is made in steps. This way of doing things is marked by a steady, slow process of getting better and learning. It has to do with realizing that growth usually comes in small, almost unnoticeable steps. The color of the gods is woven of patience, Marcus Aurelius writes in his Meditations, which supports this idea. He says that patience and persistence are holy traits that help people reach their goals, people from history and the Stoic way of life. There are many examples of people in history who lived by the Stoic rule. Think about Thomas Edison's life. His unwavering experimentation and resilience in the face of numerous mistakes resulted in many breakthrough discoveries. As the Stoics say, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. This idea of determination is at the heart of Stoic discipline, where each failure is seen as a step toward success in the long run. New uses in many different areas. Individuals who are successful in many areas of life today use Stoic restraint in their daily habits. Professional athletes, artists, and business leaders all say that they have been successful by following a strict set of rules. People who follow this practice have to show up every day, committed to their goals, and not let the slow progress they can see stop them. Seneca said, emphasizing the need for brave perseverance. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. How discipline can help you grow as a person. Stoic restraint is an important part of growing as a person. Establishing everyday routines that promote development, mental fortitude, and emotional resilience is important. This might be as easy as sticking to a daily routine of meditation, exercise, or study that, over time, leads to big changes in your life. Step-by-step guide to mastery. When it comes to discipline, the Stoic way is all about accepting the process. It means realizing that skill and success come from putting in a lot of work over time. Just like a tree doesn't become tall quickly, you need time, patience, and consistent work to grow as a person and in your career. Ego is the enemy that you can't see on the Stoic path. How Stoics feel about ego. Stoicism says that ego is a big problem that gets in the way of personal growth and community peace. With their focus on virtue and wisdom, the Stoics warned against the dangers of ego, which they saw as getting in the way of real learning and progress. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most closely resembles the one I am about to criticize? This questioning of oneself is a direct challenge to the ego and helps people become more humble and self-aware. Views on ego from the past. There are many cases in history of how ego can be harmful. Even though Alexander the Great did a lot of great things, he often had problems with his ego, which some researchers think led to his unexpected death. Abraham Lincoln, on the other hand, showed Stoic virtues by putting aside his pride and showing kindness and understanding, which were very important to his leadership during the American Civil War. Ego in today's world. There are many areas of modern life where the bad effects of ego are clear. In the business world, for example, leaders who let their egos guide their choices often make unpleasant workplaces, make it harder for people to work together, and stop new ideas from coming up. People who are humble and open to comments, on the other hand, make it easier for others to work together and get things done. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak, Epictetus said. This shows how important it is to be humble and open to learning from others. The part ego plays in personal growth. In personal development, getting past your ego is a key part of real growth. People's egos can make them blind to their flaws and stop them from accepting new ideas and points of view. People can have more important personal and work relationships when they recognize and deal with their ego. This makes them more open to a wider range of experiences and greater understanding. Ego and sports. When it comes to sports, leaders and players who can control their egos are more likely to do well. They can take loss with grace, learn from their mistakes, and look beyond their own accomplishments to see the bigger picture. This fits with the Stoic idea that the good of the group is more important than the fame of the individual. Stoicism on being patient and self-control. Stoicism teaches a delicate balance between tolerant of others' wars and being strict with oneself. This way of thinking says that we should understand and forgive others' mistakes, but we should also be strict and controlled in how we look at ourselves and how we act. The Stoic leader Marcus Aurelius said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Examples of Stoic leadership from the past. This Stoic balance can be seen in current times in General Charles Krulak. He was renowned for his compassion and high moral standards, and he treated those who were at war with compassion and understanding. Nelson Mandela was another historical person who lived by this concept. He didn't come out of jail angry after years of being locked up. Instead, he brought a message of peace and understanding, while still being committed to justice and equality. Stoicism in business and school settings. This balance is just as important in the workplace as it is in schools. Great teachers and leaders know how important it is to care for and guide their students or workers, seeing their potential and pushing them to grow. But they also hold themselves to high standards in how they act and what they do, showing others how to do it. I agree with Epictetus. Don't explain your philosophy, take it on. What tolerance and strictness have to do with growing up? This Stoic concept promotes a kind but controlled way of living, which is good for personal growth. It means letting other people make mistakes and understanding their problems, while also holding yourself to high standards of honesty and growth. This balance helps people have good relationships and grow as people, which leads to a happier and more moral life. What is tolerance and strictness in the arts? A lot of well-known artists and writers have followed this Stoic balance in their work. In their works, they often showed a lot of patience and understanding of the human situation. At the same time, they were very strict and controlled in the way they made art. To make art that is both compassionate and of good quality, you need to have this duality. The Stoic imperative on leadership and responsibility. Stoic thoughts on the weight of duty. Stoicism says that being responsible is not only a duty, but also a key part of being an ethical leader. The concept stresses how important it is to take responsibility, especially when things are hard or uncomfortable. This shows that you have a strong sense of character and self-respect. As Epictetus said, we are responsible for some things, and we cannot be held responsible for others. Leaders need to know the difference between what they can control and what they can't, and then they need to take responsibility for their actions. Stoic responsibility and past leaders. Leaders from the past who lived by the Stoic ideals of duty are useful models. George Washington is one of these people. He led with a strong sense of duty and responsibility during the American Revolution, and as the first president of the United States. He always took responsibility for his choices and put the needs of the country ahead of his own, even though he had to deal with huge problems. Stoic responsibility and business leadership. When leaders in business take on Stoic duty, they set up practices that are moral and long-lasting. They know that the choices they make will affect not only their business, but also their workers, customers, and the community as a whole. Just like Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic leader is responsible for these results because he knows that what we do now echoes in eternity. How Stoicism can help you lead every day. For Stoics, duty also includes the things and jobs we do every day. As a family member, a community worker, or a team leader, taking responsibility for your actions and how they affect other people is a sign of real leadership. This means taking responsibility for both your wins and your mistakes and learning from each one. Taking responsibility in handling a crisis. When things go wrong, the Stoic focus on taking responsibility is even more important. Leaders who handle problems calmly and take responsibility for getting through them build trust and respect. They know that being a leader doesn't mean avoiding blame. It means taking on the load and helping others through tough times. Stillness, the best weapon against chaos. It is a Stoic virtue to be still. In times of trouble and chaos, Stoicism praises the virtue of stillness, which is a calm state of mind that helps people think clearly and make quick decisions. This idea isn't about doing nothing. It's about being in control of your feelings and thoughts so that you can act well when you're under a lot of stress. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic ruler who ruled during a time of endless wars and a terrible plague, showed this virtue in his rule. He wrote, "Be like the point where the waves smash against it all the time, but it stands firm and controls the wild water around it." Examples of Stoic stillness in the past. People in history, like Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi, showed this kind of stillness. During the chaos of the civil rights movement, King showed amazing calm and smart focus. In the same way, Gandhi's non-violent protests against British colonial rule were characterized by a deep inner calm and resilience. An important part of their success as leaders was their ability to stay calm in the face of great hardship. Being still in modern leadership. The capacity to keep stillness in the face of chaos is a crucial skill for modern leaders. For example, business leaders often have to make tough choices and deal with complicated problems. People who can keep their cool are better able to handle these scenarios and make smart choices instead of impulsive ones. The best way to calm down is to wait, Seneca said. How stillness can help you handle a crisis. The Stoic principle of stillness is especially important during times of trouble. Leaders who can stay cool, look at the situation without getting upset, and not make hasty choices can help others get through tough times. Not only is this stillness useful for me, it's also a sign of security for other people. Personal growth through stillness. On a daily level, practicing stillness helps people handle the ups and downs of life calmly. Stoic stillness helps people make good decisions and keep their ethics and peace of mind when they are going through a personal crisis or emotional upheaval. How to live your life based on the 4 Stoic virtues. Courage, the stoutness of the Stoics. Courage, the first of the Stoic virtues, includes moral and psychological strength in addition to physical bravery. Resilience is the ability to deal with life's difficulties, fears, and unknowns. It is not because things are hard that we don't dare, but because we do not dare that they are hard, said Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher. People like Malala Yousafzai, who fought for education and women's rights, even though she was threatened and her life was attacked, show courage in Stoicism. Self-control, what the Stoics did. The second virtue is self-discipline, which means controlling your wants and urges so that you can live a moderate and self-controlled life. In today's world of endless challenges and distractions, this trait is very important. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a quality that can be seen in the work of great artists and athletes who put in countless hours to improve their skills, often in the face of hardship and without immediate reward. Fairness, the Stoic view of justice. The third Stoic value is justice, which means being fair and treating other people with kindness and fairness. It means caring about what's best for everyone and acting in an honest way. Marcus Aurelius said, "Justice is the source of all other virtues." Leaders like Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu showed this virtue by fighting unfairness and supporting peace for their whole lives. Wisdom, what the Stoics knew. Wisdom is the last virtue, and it refers to the capacity for understanding and sound decision in difficult situations. It requires a deep understanding of how things work, including your own boundaries and how quickly things can change in the outside world. This trait is shown by leaders and minds today who put long-term happiness over short-term gains, like King Solomon, who was known for making smart decisions. How to use the Stoic virtues in everyday life. Having these 4 virtues in your life gives you a strong foundation for dealing with different scenarios. People with these virtues can make moral choices and live a meaningful life, even when they face problems at work or in their personal relationships. Being strong in the face of hardship and caring when working with others are traits that can be developed through these activities.